Hey, Crystal.
What it do, boo?
Guess what?
What it do?
We in the house.
We in the house.
We in the house.
We in the house. Give me some.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Nah, for real though. We back.
We are back.
We back.
We back. Back with another one.
Yo, check this out though.
What we checking out? What I'm checking out?
Today is Father's Day.
It is.
Oh, wait. We didn't even give a decent introduction. Go ahead. Let's get to your introduction.
Hello, all. This is Crystal. Welcome to my world.
All right. It's definitely given what it's supposed to have gave.
Yes.
So, we here without
further ado.
We're going to go ahead and salute all the fathers out there. Shout out to all the fathers. Hey, listen.
Not the half-stepping ones.
Listen.
Not the ones that ain't there.
Listen.
Ones who stepping up when they don't need to step up.
Listen.
When they shouldn't step up, but they do step up.
Whoa, that sounds like a verse.
Listen.
That sounds like a bar to me. But no, on a cool, like I was just I give flowers where flowers are due. Right?
Okay.
We're millennials, you know what I'm saying? We're between the years of 1980 to 1996. We're not giving no ages around here, though. Right. We are millennials, right?
Right.
And one thing that I can say for my family, I know in my generation that I have brothers, then I have male cousins. They make it a point to be in their child or children's life.
Well.
And yeah, we saluting to all the fathers. This video is dedicated to the fathers. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
How you wanna go into this? What's on your heart? How you feeling?
I am feeling bittersweet.
Bittersweet. I knew that was going to be the response.
Yeah.
Why are you feeling like that? It's bittersweet.
So.
Because you're a mom. You have a husband.
I do.
Who's a father.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, when I look. Okay, wait. Let's rewind.
Okay.
We're going to rewind to back in the gap when my mama met my daddy.
Do we need tissues?
I hope not. We'll see.
Okay, disclaimer.
Disclaimer. If you catch me up here sniffling and crying and stuff. But no. My mother and my father met in high school. Being fast. Y'all know y'all got some fast mamas out there. No, I'm just kidding. My mother was in love. And I am that love child. And I've been told that my dad came around, but I was little, so I didn't really remember. And I can remember being this little girl, waiting at the window, waiting for her father to arrive when he said he was. And I think around age 7, I met my dad for the first time. To my memory, I met him for the first time at the mall. My mother took me to the mall, and I met him and his wife and several of his kids. I don't know if they were stepdad. He was stepdad to other children.
Not biologically.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I met him, but at the time I'm 7, so I have in my mind, I just want to see my dad, right? So I met him, and plans were supposed to happen, and it just never happened. So we get to my high school years. Even before high school, my cousin, shout out to my cousin Jamie, met my cousin Jamie. It was before high school, and then we kind of separated, just, moving. And then I saw her again in high school, and we lived in the same area. And I met her mom, rest in peace, Tansy, that I met her, and she was just in awe of every time she saw me. She was like, "You look just like your daddy, Andre. Oh, you look just like your daddy." So that was how our relationship began. But every time something was going on with my dad, I thank my cousin Jamie for always keeping me in the loop. So we go from 7, then we go to age 24, which is where I saw my dad, my biological father, the second time. I sang at my cousin Jamie. Her mom passed away. Again, rest in peace. And I sang at the funeral. And I met him for the second time. And we exchanged numbers. And I believe, like, right when I met him, it was like I was looking at my twin. Like, I can't even, like, the understanding at 24 compared to 7. So at 24 years old, here it is. I'm at his sister's wedding. I mean, not wedding, funeral, singing. And then I meet this man who is my father. His blood is running through me. And I'm looking at him, and I'm just in awe and just in shock. Like, I really, really do look like you. I'm just like, oh. So I'm excited. I'm like, oh, this is my father. And we exchanged numbers, and we began to talk over the phone. And every time there was plans to meet up, it was always something. So it never happened. So I had to find within myself to kind of let go. And when I say let go, is because I would get these phone calls from him, and I just didn't want to be that disappointed little girl again, you know? To always pick up the phone and promises are being made or something is going to happen. And mind you, I'm in school at this time. I'm in college at this time. And hey, you want to meet up Saturday? Hey, you want to meet up Sunday? And nothing ever had happened. Even from, hey, I'll drive to you. I'll come to you. I'll meet you where you are. And then nothing ever happened. So I had to refocus my attention elsewhere, because I just didn't want to be that hurt little girl. And the third time that I met my father, rest in peace, was when I was 31, 32. My cousin Jamie called me, and this had been several years, and she called me and she said, "Hey, they found your dad. He was a Jane Doe, but he's in the hospital, and they've ID'd him. And if you want to, you may need to go see him, because they're gonna pull the plug on Sunday at 2 p.m." So that was the third time I met my dad. So, meeting him, not meeting him, but when she told me that, of course, even though I have no real relationship with this man, he is still my father. And I'm driving to him. I call my husband, I let him know what's going on, and I'm rushing to him to get to him. And another thing that I realized was that each time that I met my father, it was me coming to him. So I'm rushing to him, and I can remember when I went in the room and I saw him, I held his hand, and I just talked to him. I cried, and I just talked to him, and I said to him, don't hold on. If it's time for you to go, you can let go. I'm gonna be okay. I'm fine. I will be fine. No matter what we've been through, and even if it's just the 3 times that we've met. And I can remember one phone call that we had. I was working at the hospital at the time, and him and I had one phone call. And that last phone call, will be forever embedded into my head. We talked about a lot of things. I asked him a lot of questions like how did him and my mom meet? I asked him he said your mama was fast. I got your mama to do a lot of stuff. And he also shared with me how he was scared to meet me because he didn't want me to judge him on how he looked because of the lifestyle that he lived and the things that he has done. So he was like, I don't have any teeth in my mouth, and I don't want you to see me without. And I was like, that didn't matter to me. I just wanted to see you face to face. We talked about how my grandmother let him borrow the car, or he snuck away in the car, him and my mom. It was just, I just got to hear a lot of these little stories that I didn't get answers to.
Right.
And even then at his funeral, I learned a lot about him at his funeral. Like I didn't know that he liked cabbage. He loved cabbage. I didn't know that. I didn't know he worked on cars. I didn't there were a lot of things that I learned at the funeral that I didn't know about him at 32. So
And then going back, I gotta also piggyback. You said that he helped answer a lot of questions that you did not know. So basically, like recently, I just saw an interview with Kelly Rowland, and she had an opportunity to reconnect with her dad, and for years, she had longed for a relationship, knowing that her father was still out there, and she was just this hopeless little girl at heart, right? Wanting to be loved by the first man that's supposed to love his daughter, right? And so when they finally did get an opportunity to reconnect, he was able to answer a lot of those questions that had been unanswered, or from one perspective, right? So you was able to get your dad's perspective, his side of the story before he passed.
I was able to get, I wouldn't say the full spectrum, but I was able to understand him more.
And I'm gonna help you. So you were able to see why you had to constantly, as the child, right, in the situation, you had to go to him because, in a sense, he wasn't able to show up for you
Right.
at no point
Right.
in your life, from a
Right.
very small infant to an adult, young adult age.
Yes.
And he shared those experiences with you as far as his life struggles and demons and things like that.
Yeah.
So that kind of, because I went through the same thing with my dad as well. Had a little bit of resentment, and then it wasn't until after his passing that I learned more about him. And we have to humanize our parents, right?
Yeah.
They're heroic in our little minds, right?
Yeah.
And then the one thing that can offset can turn the whole relationship off, right? So it's like, I love you, but man, that hurt me to the core, whatever it is, right? So it's like, and they say children forgive easiest. So if it's let down after let down, disappointment after disappointment, like you said, you didn't want to face that.
Yeah, I didn't want to go through that anymore, especially with everything that I had on my plate at the time, with college courses, with family issues or situations, with just me trying to figure me out and finish my journey in the what's the word I'm looking for? In the season that I was in, I just didn't have that type of time to continuously get hurt,
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And around the time of your dad's passing, like
Mm-hmm.
what season in your life were you in? Were you finishing school, recently getting married, or where were you at that point?
So that season, um, I had I had just finished school, I believed. I had just finished school when he passed, and we had just had a miscarriage, and yeah, and then 6 months later, I was pregnant, and I laugh at that because you know how they always say when one soul leaves another, and I always God is amazing, and I always think about my dad. I think about him, and because I hear he was a jokester, like he was like a comedian sometimes he was a comedian, and I kind of envision him, when he passed, like talking to God and like let my daughter have this. Like I know one in her life, give her this, just give her this, please do this for me. So when I look at my son, when I look at my son, I'm blessed and just in awe. And then when I look at my son and his father, I say bittersweet because to see something that you've never had, but to see that relationship and that connection is beyond incredible. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that that my son gets to have what I did. But I'm also thankful for the men, let me say that, the man that God, the two men that God placed in my life. My godfather, shout out to you, Pops, and my spouse, Mr. Ickman, love you. And I'm just grateful, just grateful for what God has given me, and I don't take that for granted. Thank you.
Okay. So just to add, like, I know when we originally discussed this idea of sitting down and making something like a homage
Yeah.
to fathers and dads,
Mm.
um, there's a level of empathy that
Yeah.
comes over you because you know what, my dad was kicked out at 16.
Mm.
My dad had done so much, and my dad's mom, my paternal grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
uh, was fed up to the point where you're bringing a child into the world now,
Mm-hmm.
and he's left to
Fend for himself.
fend for himself and the child and the child's mother
Yeah.
as well. So he's had to figure out life and show up for himself in ways that he didn't know how. My dad was also a product of an early teen pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this generational pattern and
Yeah.
things like that. So I had a lot of resentment built up, but then I had to recognize that my dad couldn't show up for himself.
Let alone be able to show up for
All
you.
these
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. And that was another perspective that was broken down to me. I forgot who I was talking to, but
Me?
um
No, I'm just teasing. I don't know.
that maybe, he just couldn't, he knew how to love the best way he knew how.
Mm-hmm.
And if that love was let me distance myself, because if I am in this girl's life, if I'm in my daughter's life, I am probably going to wreck her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or so let me, that if that was what he needed to do, then that's what he needed to do.
Right.
That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah. But let's talk about the Mister. Know, let's talk about the Mister, because you have an opportunity to set the tone for your child, your children to come. And as a woman, right, we have to. Oh, now wait a minute. women have to be intentional about who they decide
to have kids with. Did you hear me? To lay down and have kids with. Okay?
They say we're gonna save this for the podcast. They said we need to.
We got more coming, okay? We got more coming. We ain't gonna get. I'm not gonna. We're gonna stay on topic. We're gonna stay on topic, okay?
But no, that says a lot. That says a lot about who you decided to first partner with, because y'all are partners first, right? So that says a lot about that situation right there. Two people coming together in a union, and then we decide we want to grow our family. And deal with all of the obstacles and the ups and downs of that
together,
and then to bring the child into the world, and then we gotta deal with that in the way that it comes, so
it's a whole nother levels to this. Okay.
And I think you mentioned to me once before the fact that you're able to provide for your son looks forward to when his daddy is coming home.
Oh, baby, he hit that.
Daddy is coming home. Daddy's home.
Daddy's home. Ooh, that's Daddy? Yeah. He loves that man, and that man loves that little boy. Yeah. My heart just, every time I just take a glance at them or just look at them, and my heart melts. It smiles.
You're going home to them.
Deuces. Good day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Continue doing what you are doing. Continue stepping up. Even when you don't feel like it. Continue stepping up, showing out. Continue being active. That quality time, time is a thief, okay? Kids grow up so fast, and you look up, they're going to college, okay? So then they getting married. But enjoy that time with your little ones. And happy Father's Day. I salute you. Know that you matter. You count. You matter in this world. You are needed. Yeah. Deuces.
We're going to have to do an update in 15 years when Junior is 18.
I know. Oh, don't